Hello everyone. In this lecture, we will cover some of the most important textual functions. Textual functions are used to perform operations on the text type of data. For example, if we need to remove any particular word from a group of words, or if we need to extract first 5 or last 5 characters of any word, for such operations we need to use textual functions. So let's get started with the first textual function. Here you can see we have student1 pre-entered in the first column, and you can notice that there are unwanted extra spaces in front of it. Similarly, the second and third student1 values have extra spaces either in between or in the end of the text string. To correct this, either we can edit each one of these text strings or we can use a simple trim function. Trim function removes extra spaces from the text string. It will remove spaces from the beginning or at the end or even between two words also. Let's look at our example. In this cell, there are extra spaces in the front of string student1. Using trim, we will remove these extra spaces. Using trim function is very similar to using other mathematical formulas. First, to start the function, we have to type is equal to. Then we will mention the function name, that is trim. And after that, we will mention the text string we want to correct. And press enter. You can see extra spaces are removed. Now let's move on to the next example. You can see extra spaces between student and the numeric 1. Again, we will use trim function to remove these extra spaces. We will follow the same steps. And now you can see that there is only one space between the word student and numeric character 1. Trim function has removed the extra spaces which were present between these two words. Now for the third row, you can see that there are extra spaces at the end of the string. Again, we use trim function. We can simply drag the function from above. And now the extra spaces at the end are removed. However, these cells contain formula instead of the required string. To get string, we know what we have to do. We use the copy and paste as values technique. These cells now have actual string values with no extra spaces. Now let's move on to the next function. Suppose I have two strings in two cells. Let's say first cell contains first name and second cell contains last name. Now how do we combine these two strings to create a full name? For such situations, we can use concatenate function to combine the two strings. Let's first try to combine English, math and science. As always, we will start our formula with equal to symbol. Then we write concatenate. You can see that in this cell we have all the three strings joined together. First comes maths, then without any space comes the next string which is science, and then comes the third string which is English. To further understand the use of this function, let us try to create a table where instead of just marks, we will write that student 1 has scored so many marks in this subject. To do this, we go to the cell and type concatenate select student 1 cell, comma, write the script between double quotation marks, space has scored space, comma, select the marks from table 1, comma, now again enter the script in double quotation marks, space in maths. When I press enter, you can see that the complete sentence is created. Student 1 has scored 95 in maths. You can see in the formula bar, concatenate function is taking student 1 from this cell, has scored is an input by us, marks is coming from the upper table, and then there is another string which is an input from our side. Now to extend this for other students, you can simply double click on the bottom right corner and the entire column will be filled. You can see for student 5 also, the entire string is correct. Student 5 has scored 45 in maths. Concatenation can also be done using ampersand symbol. Ampersand is the symbol that we see on the numeric key 7 on our keyboard, and it looks like this. This is also the and symbol that we use while writing text. So now in the English column, we will apply the ampersand symbol to get this same result. To do this, select student 1 cell, type ampersand, enter the string within double quotation marks, has scored, ampersand again, marks within double quotation marks in English. You can see that ampersand performs the same operation as concatenate function. In concatenation, it's like a normal function where you first mention the function and then give all the strings as parameters. In ampersand, it is like using plus symbol. You write the string, add an ampersand, you write another string, add an ampersand, write another string, and so on. Next up is substitute function. It is used to substitute a particular string with another string in the selected text. For example, to rectify the spelling of student, we type is equal to substitute, select the text in which you want to change the strings, comma, input the part of the string that you want to replace. Always remember to put double quotation marks while mentioning strings. We want to change B to D. So the third parameter is what you want it to be changed. You can see the text student is now student. Same thing can be done in sentences also. For second row of the table, we can update the score in the sentence from 38 to 95. So student 1 scored 95 marks in science. In the third row, we can change the text science to English. Important thing to note here is the word science is case sensitive. If you make the S of science small, it will not be able to recognize the same. You can also note in the formula column, we have written the formulas, but these formulas are not returning the values. In this cell, you can still see the formula written. To do this, we have used a single space in front of the equal to symbol. It is because of this space, Excel is not calculating the actual value of this formula and showing this whole thing as a text in the cells. If I remove the space and enter, you can see that the formula will be calculated and the value of formula will be shown. So in this way, if you want to show the formula to someone without calculating the value, you can just add a single space in front of the equal to symbol. Next is the upper and lower function. These functions simply convert the entire input string to upper or lower case. For this, we type is equal to upper and select the string. You can see that student 1 string is now completely in uppercase. In the next cell, we will use lower. And you can notice that the S of the student, which was earlier uppercase, is now lowercase. To completely fill the table, we select both the cells, go to the bottom right corner and double click, and the entire table is filled. After this, we look at the length function. Length function returns the length of the input string, that is, it returns the count of characters including spaces in the string. So for example, in the first cell we have student 1 written. Student contains 7 characters, then there is a space, and then there is a numeric 1. Total it contains 9 characters. So we will now use the length function to see how many characters does this actually have. Len, and then we select this string. You can see that this length function returns the number of characters including the space in between. We can extend it for the other strings. You can see that the next string length is 11. You can manually check if Excel is giving us the correct answers. The last set of functions we are going to discuss are left, right, and mid. Left function will help us select a particular count of characters in the string from the left. In this table, we have QR code values which consist of 3 different parts. One is the year of manufacturing, which are the first 4 characters of the QR code. The last 2 characters are the group of that product, and in between there are 5 characters which represent the product ID of that particular product. To segregate these three parts from the given QR code, we first use the left function. To apply left function, we start typing left, select the string, comma, type 4. This will return the first 4 characters of the selected string. You can see that the first 4 strings, that is 2018, is returned by the left function. Right does the same thing. It just starts the counting from the end of the string. For example, here we want to get the right 2 characters of the string. So we type right, we select the string and then type 2. You can see the right 2 characters have been returned. Mid is like left. Only difference is that you can change the starting point for the count. For example, if you want the 5th to 9th characters from this QR code, you type mid, select the string, give the starting point, which is the 5th character, and then give the number of characters. Here we want 5 characters. You can see that the middle 5 characters are returned by this mid function. We can select these 3 cells and double click on the bottom right corner to complete this table. Like I told you in the previous lecture, all the textual functions can also be found in the Formulas tab of the Excel menu. I would recommend that you go and explore these other textual functions also. That's all for this lecture. See you in the next one.